What's up, guys? We are back here with the attack on Vandal Hearts on this nightly November 7th, 2023. Last episode, we got the pirate guy. We killed his bro. We beat his bro. And then we got to an island, right, in Vandal Hearts. So, that's his bro right there, Hassan. We're just having an apple there. Okay. Ooh, I just had a huge meal, man. Made some oven-baked salmon. My neighbor gave me a fish, right? That he caught salmon, so I baked it. Braised, oven braised. It was sort of like fall off the bone salmon. Oh man, it was so so good. Okay, so we're in chapter 2. That's right. Speaking of which, one sec. Let me just refresh this. It's actually become habit now that I'm always refreshing. Okay, so this is done. Ah, fucking hell. Again. Did it again. One second. I was just gonna move my picture. Okay, that actually works. Okay. Really? Where is my picture on here? That's why I don't get. Oh, there it is. Okay, that's it. Pro stream webcam. Okay, cool. I mean, I have to put myself down here. Okay, perfect. Just don't want to block that upper area. That's where a lot of stuff is, right? Okay, so I got here last time and I saved. I was pretty freaking tired. So let's check out the shop. That's right. I fully equipped everybody. Then I went broke. I went broke like a mofo. Okay. At least I did that. Took a while too. Fully equip everybody. Okay, let's see. Advance. Am I able to promote here? Oh, look at this. What? You could have multiple paths? It's obviously level 10. Bishop and monk? What? Oh my god. This is really exciting me right now. This is I love the whole like promotion aspect of strategy RPGs. Kind of like in Shining Force and Warsong, Langrisser, Fire Emblem, the whole ogre battle, the whole aspect of you're grinding and you're fighting, and then you get to a certain level, and then you get the promote, and then change your entire class. Now I gotta ask a question here. What level do I promote? Let me just Google this, okay? Because this is pretty serious. In Shining Force, I always max out before I promote. Do I have to do the same thing in this? Is that how it is? What level do I promote in Vandal Arts? Level 9. What? Oh man, this seems pretty deep. I don't think I'm gonna read any guides here. Max level is 99. What? What? What you say about me? I guess Swordman is the offensive and Guardsman is the defensive. And the one that's interesting is the Archer here, Bowman and Hawk Knight. Is this a flying class? Anyways, wait. Do you wish to undergo the trials of Toro? Let's see. Oh man, this is so cool. Thank you for saving us. If it wasn't for you, we might have been mindless zombies forever. Before the revolution, the royal family made it illegal to study the ruins. They were afraid that archaeologists would discover that the legend about the royal family and the origins of the country were untrue. Recently, they found out there was an advanced civilization here long ago. Maybe that's later on in the game. Those royals were corrupt. A corrupt bunch, alright. And yet, they were of the Asha dynasty. Children of the Toroa, the Messiah. Perhaps one day I'll be punished for overthrowing them. I found this weird fruit the other day, but then I dropped it while running away from a monster. That was right next to the cross-shaped poisonous swamp. Gonna have my ritualistic energy drink here. So over here, I'm having a Monster Zero. It's Ultra Rosa. Ultra Rosa. It's a pink one, right? Tastes like pink. I don't know how they do it, man. Best way to describe it, it tastes like candy. Yeah, then let's leave village. Yggdra Canyon. Yggdra, that's from like Norse mythology. Which video games use heavily from. His name is Amon, like Amon in Shiny Force. It's no good, we're finished. Dolan says, don't give up. Over that bridge, we'll soon be in Yuzu village. Amon says, but what if they've taken the village too? Sarah says, enough, Amon. You're too pessimistic. Oh, they've caught us. Whoa. Dolan says, I'll distract them while you two get away. Sarah says, we won't leave you alone. Amon says, look, some strangers have arrived. Okay, anyways, I'll just read the dialogue from now on. Those people are under attack by demons. We're coming to save you. Hang on. We'll try. Oh. Ah, 3 characters. Cool stuff. But how are we going to get to the other side? If we can shut off the flow of the water in the aqueduct, we can cross. Look for a switch. I like how they're all in sync. They just move like. Okay, so there's 2 leaders in this match. Check out these characters. Level 9, Amon the Archer, not a bird warrior. Wait, why must I select you? Why can't I just not move you? Action, attack. Okay. That's what I wanted to do. So you're a soldier. Looks like these are all base classes, kind of like an ogre battle, right? Sarah the healer. My guy healer? Okay. Yeah, you won't be able to reach us. So what I'll do, I'll place... Obviously, I'm backing off, so I'll place these guys here. While backing off, and with my main team... Obviously, the goal is this, right? So what are these balls? I don't get it. What? Oh, there's terrain advantage too. Okay. So we got a rush here. How far can you attack? 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, cannot reach. So how I've been doing it, how I like it, is I place my warriors up front. And I just block off the back row. Sort of like how I played in Shiny Force, right? Okay, so let's do this. I wonder if I should be promoting now or wait till later. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what to do. It's turnover. This makes me want to play Fire Emblem. Wow, barely any damage. Whoa! 1 hit KO'd? Yeah. Main dude is a boss. Well, don't kill them all. If we can funnel them. Okay, they're not all moving. And I want some kills with my level 9 guys, right? This main dude here is level 11 now. Magic. Let's do the Dark Star. Motherfucker! You will get Dark Starred. And this makes me want to play Super Mario RPG. I do know that there's a new version of it. Looks pretty good too. So you're level 9. So we'll easily get this kill. Oh, look at the blood. Man, I love the blood in this game. Okay. Where do you go? Where do you go? Have an attack magic. Cure. Oh, really? He's got cure status now? Oh man, that is so good. So when am I do this? Oh, got you good, bitch. Slice and dice. Like a samurai. Okay. Actually, I haven't moved this guy yet. Okay, now. How far can you go? Damn, that's not good. You gotta stay here. And this dude has to stay in front. Okay, let's end turn. Yep, attack the healer. Look at that, she's hitting him with a stick. Mad soldier, looks like soldier zombies, man. We can make it off, right? Here, let me save. Because I don't know what the hell is gonna happen. Okay. Check it out. Let's do it. Let's do it. What's gonna happen? Oh. Oh, we can just pass there now. I say. So I'll put the dude here, so go like this. And put him here. And you go behind. Yeah, you go there. Yeah, because they can't pass here, right? Let's heal. Oh yeah, so let's see. Oh, okay. Just realized that my face here. Oh my god, again? How does this keep happening, man? Okay, good. Do not move the thing. Okay, I'll put myself here. That way, I'm not blocking the planes there. Not blocking much. Perfect. Okay. Cool. Gotta be flexible. So they all moved, right? And the dog is stuck. That way we can get the chest. So this... How are we gonna get this? Oh, I see. We're gonna push it here. And we're gonna jump on top, get the chest. Okay. Hey, Infinite Metal, how's it going, bro? What's up? Ever heard of Vandal Hearts? It's pretty cool, man. It's like Shining Force or Fire Emblem, Warsong Langrisser. Oh, you've heard of it, but never played it. Yeah, it's I've had the game for a long time. It's the first time that I'm playing it. I don't have part 2 though. Yeah, I didn't know that they made a part 2 until I saw videos about this game. Yeah. Exactly. Infinite Metal says, well, weren't you playing it the other day? Yeah, I was playing it the other day. I've been switching between Metroid Fusion and this. Keeping one action game and then one RPG game. Okay, so Infinite Metal says, I may have just dropped in and not said anything or whatever last time. Oh, okay. It's all good. See these zombies, they can reach here, right? Yeah, here, so they can attack here. Infinite Metal says, I usually say hi, but lately I've been busy too. It's all good. Being busy is good, man. Being busy means you're doing stuff, working, hobbies. Infinite Metal says, so it's better than Shining Force? I played that, never got all that far. Shining Force 1 and 2, I'll even say 3. I played 3 Scenario 1. I'll put those in like some of my favorite games of all time. It's not there, no. From what I've played so far, it's not as good, but it's definitely a higher caliber game than what can I compare it to? Like other strategy RPG games, sort of like I think it's better than Tactics Ogre. The one I played on PlayStation. Or Onimusha Tactics on GBA. Jeanne d'Arc on PSP. I believe on PS1 it was called La Pucelle. It's pretty gory, actually. Infinite Metal says got you. So the classics are still top tier, but it's good regardless. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's got the storyline is similar to Ogre Battle. If you played that, it's very like straight to the point. It's dark. There's no humor. There's some sort of like politics in the game between the sides, right? And I saw that also in Final Fantasy Tactics, but Tactics, the pacing was just so good. It kept making me want to play them more and more. So yeah, I played that game for the first time last year, Final Fantasy Tactics. Man, it was it was amazing. It was on the PS1, and I also have it on PSP. I want to play that. I want to play the PSP version. Infinite Metal says, yeah, I've been seeing in my little bubble of streamers I follow and such, tactical RPGs have been popular lately for some reason. I've always been a fan. What's the first one that I've played? I think Warsong. Warsong may have been on the Genesis. Oh yeah, I love strategy RPGs. I also really like JRPGs, but there's a lot of shitty JRPGs. Like we were talking about Breath of Fire yesterday. 1 and 2, I love 1 and 2, and as I get older, I start liking 1 more than 2, right? But JRPGs are just so linear, right? To make them interesting, you need something like... Have you ever played Lufia 2? On the Super Nintendo? That game, man... In the dungeons, you do puzzles. But the enemy encounters in the dungeons are... they're kind of like Chrono Trigger. You see the enemies there? So when you're doing a puzzle, you're not getting into random encounters, and it's not killing the pacing, because when you're doing puzzles, you can't be bothered with random encounters, right? So it's sort of like in Zelda games, where there's enemies where you see them, so you could choose to avoid them. So I really like those type of RPGs. I played Dragon Quest VIII recently. That was really good. Very nice pacing in that game too. Infinite Metal says, very briefly though, I know that's also been getting a lot of hype. Lufia 2, I mean. Yeah, a lot more people have been finding out about Lufia 2. I knew of it because I played Lufia 1 back in the day, and It's alright. Lufia 1 is like average RPG, nothing special about it. But Lufia 2 just brought it to a whole new level, man. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna heal. And of course, there's the Final Fantasies and the Chrono Triggers, right? I've played those just so many times. If I'm ever gonna play Final Fantasy 4, 5, 6 again, I want to play a ROM hack. I don't want to play the same game. Yeah, I'd love to play Breath of Fire 3. I got it on PSP. I got it behind me too on PlayStation, but it's sealed, so I'll never be able to play that. I kind of lucked out back in the day on eBay with that sealed copy and never ended up opening it. But yeah, I never got... Oh man, I never got Breath of Fire 4, sadly. So I'll probably never be able to play it. So I moved everybody here. Next, bro here. Can you open? Here, I'm gonna save. I'm not sure if I could open that chest. Yeah, I didn't grow up with the PlayStation, so yeah, I cannot open the fucking chest. Then they can only attack me one at a time. Okay, these zombies can only attack me one at a time because I kind of got a funnel effect here. You know, like the Battle of Thermopylae with the Spartans. It's what they did to the Persians, right? Infinite Metal says, so I have nostalgia bias for 1, Breath of Fire 1, I know that. That said, I find the big obsessive fan base of 2 fans I've run into, well, let's say they don't seem like parents. Yeah, Breath of Fire 2, first time I played it, man, it kind of blew me away because they had Breath of Fire 1 and 2 at the video store, and if you've seen the cover for Breath of Fire 1, looks like a fucking comic book, right? Here, I got it here. It's got like behind it, it's like you got Ox just saying like Breath of Fire. Now you're playing with fire. So I was like, whoa, this game looks so cool. There's a dude with his hand out and a sword and stuff. It's very Western, right? The cover. So I remember renting it and I was like, what the fuck is this, right? This is when I was just getting introduced to RPGs. I'm like, oh, it's like Paladin's Quest. It's like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. I'm like, okay, so I played it. I liked it. Ended up renting it multiple times, beating it. Then I rented Breath of Fire 2, and the detail in Breath of Fire 2, I liked it way more. I liked the main character way more. But going back, what I really loved about Breath of Fire 1 was the whole, like, every arc is just so cool. There's that one fucking boss. He's like a commander, and he's like a goblin or something, and then you fight him inside the stone giant. That boss fight, man, it still stands out to me. That boss fight was nuts. It was so hard. Infinite Metal says, but yeah, when people say it's too simple or something, but I have a lot of fun with it still. Yeah, it's cool, yeah. Of course it's simple. One also has, it's got a fish. Plus the dragon transformations are better. Plus some of the secrets, like there's this tower when you get bow, and then you go up the tower, you go through the blocks, and then there's this like hidden passage behind one of the floors. Just like stuff like that about Breath of Fire 1 is cool, man. Gobi, yeah, the fish guy, yeah. If Emmanuel says Gobi, yeah, and the dragon transformations were amazing, and secrets. There's stuff that people are still finding in that game. Yeah, because I would just walk around like behind walls and stuff, and then sometimes you find that there's a secret passage. Yeah, Karn also breaks that game. I think if somebody made a ROM hack of that game, they should balance out Karn, because once you get his full transformation, where it's like Gobi, Ox, and the Fox guy, the Bo. When you mix those four characters, he becomes that fucking baby dragon man. Oh my god, he's so powerful. But then when you level up a lot, there's like diminishing returns. You're always hitting like 999 damage, right? So then you wanna go down in transformations and then use Ox or something. So Ox is pretty good. Hey Dave, how's it going, bro? What's up? What's up? Dave says Breath of Fire was so good. Was good times. Yeah. Dave here has played it too. We got a history of RPG games. But yeah, definitely. You said you haven't tried the Game Boy Advance versions, right? Try them out, man. You'll be disappointed by the audio, but about the speed of the game, it's been increased, right? Because you could press B and then you could start running around, kind of like sprint shoes in Final Fantasy VI. So they added that. They added just like better UI, better item names. They basically polished it more, right? And of course, you get better portraits. Maybe not better, but different portraits. Infinite Metal says, so the aspect of balancing Karn is a bit of the fact that Bo can rival a lot of Karn's transformation attack power with the Hero Bow. Oh, okay. Yeah, Bo's really good at the beginning of the game. He's got tons of HP, he's got good attack. And then Gobi underwater, it's just like, he's just retarded, man. He's so good with his spells. But of course, above water, he's useless. Yeah, fixing the item names. I wouldn't say exactly fixing, just like making it better. But yeah, definitely try it out. You'll probably end up liking it because you're a Breath of Fire fan, right? But yeah, you were telling me that stuff with the link cable. That sounds really cool. I never even knew that you could trade items. Infinite Metal says improving the description is a big deal. Yeah, I know that the GBA versions are supposed to be good, but I've wanted to try it out. I just never done it. Well, we got the emulation, right? So there's always that. I'm pretty sure the games are crazy expensive now. Game Boy Advance games are nuts. When the Game Boy Advance came out, I was just starting to like collect, right? So I was buying Game Boy Advance games left and right. I got a huge Game Boy Advance collection because of that. And of course, I collected up to like the 2010s. So, excuse me. So Game Boy Advance games were pretty cheap at that time because of the DS had been out and the 3DS was coming out. Infinimo says, especially for 2, probably prefer the GBA version to reduce the grind. Yeah. It speeds up the game, man. The fact that you have to get what's that? My asthma's been acting up for like the last 2 weeks. I hang out with my buddy with his cats, and I have like cat allergies and. Yeah, and yeah, asthma sucks. It went away for like a long time, but it was all caused from my cat allergies. So I hung out with my buddy. Then I painted a few houses with like fucking dogs and cats. So I get shortness of breath, but it's not as bad as it used to be. So it slowly goes away permanently until animals are fucking introduced to my life. And I'm a painter, right? So I go to people's house. And I don't have a choice. Dave says, is that Sabultamol that you're using? Just a tip. Good to wash your mouth after using it. It's the blue one, the red one, right? You gotta wash your mouth. But I'm also drinking energy drink here, so whatever. A little bit of asthma. I'm not a victim here, you know. It's just life. Let's heal. But yeah, what were we talking about? We're talking about oh yeah, Breath of Fire. Yeah. Man, Breath of Fire. I could talk about that for like days, man. I remember Dave here. Remember when you recorded the Breath of Fire 2 battle theme? And when you go underwater, before you get the Wind Shaman, right? I think it's the Wind Shaman. When you go underwater, the battle theme goes faster and faster. Yeah, you remember that, right? Yeah. Yeah, just like little things like that about the game Breath of Fire. It really makes it cool. Okay, so you don't have, let's see. Dave says, yes, the battle theme changes. It was a very good musical score. Yeah, and there's two, Breath of Fire 1 and 2, they have two battle musics, right? It's like the first half of the game, there's this one theme, and then it changes later on, right? And yeah, Breath of Fire 2's theme is just amazing. Shit. He's gonna end up dying. Infinimos says, yeah, I think all the games other than 5 swapped battle themes at least once through the game. Often the overworld theme too. True, yeah. So I heard 4 is amazing, 3 and 4 are amazing, but 5, I've heard like it sucks, it's not good. I haven't played 3, 4, 5. And there's 6 as well, right? Then there's this like gacha game, Breath of Fire gacha, where you play with like other people. It's one of those modern games, you know, that's where it's got like weekly updates, and then it's like free to play but pay to win. Konami tried that with Castlevania 2, man. They tried to make a gacha game out of it. It didn't last very long. Infinite Metal says 6 was a mobile Windows game that never made it out of Japan and required online servers and such. Yeah, okay, so that's a gacha game, yeah. I just gave up a gacha game. I refuse to play those shit style games, man. It's like you gotta always be online to play a fucking single player game because they don't want you to pirate the game. It's like, fuck you. No, fuck you. I'm not playing single player online games, man. I played Final Fantasy Brave Exvius a little bit. That's another gacha game. You gotta do like summons to get your heroes, and only way to level up your heroes is to get more summons, and to get summons you gotta get this form of currency that you gotta grind for, and then you can only play so much during the day. It's like, what? You're monetizing these games. It's so filthy, man. And so many people play them. People play these games thinking like this is the norm. This is how games should be. That's what pisses me off about gacha games. Infinite Metal says 5 you'll hear a lot of hate for, but also find people that it's their favorite game. The thing is, they changed up the formula a lot. They took big chances on 5, and the response is one of those examples of, see, this is why companies keep releasing the same stuff. When they take chances and fans complain and the games bomb. Yeah, I don't think taking chances is a bad thing. Have you guys seen Lufia 2? The Lufia 2 remake it's on DS. Nintendo DS, the handheld. It's shit. It's utter shit. But the company took a chance, and I think that there's some respect there given, but it also failed, and it pretty much killed the Lufia franchise. So I don't think it's a bad thing taking a chance. Just risk. It's risky, right? Dave says monetizing kills the creativity of games. Taking chances, expensive. Yeah, monetizing kills creativity. Yeah. Cause it makes for lazy content. That's why. I could totally see that, Dave. Infinite Metal says, but honestly, I thought it was good. Yeah, I saw you playing 5. So I mean, somebody's playing it, so it's gotta be decent. Yeah, we'll just leave those guys here. Infinite Metal says, yep, exactly. Personally, I like it when companies take chances, as long as it's not half-assed. Yeah, so another example is Zelda 2, Castlevania 2, which, I mean, Castlevania 2 could have been good. There are ROM hacks that fix Castlevania 2. Zelda 2, I fucking love that game. I think it's great. There's a lot of ways to improve it, right? Put in a lot more detail in the game, especially in the temples, because the temples is where it's at in Zelda 2, and the temples are kind of bare. Imagine if they put candles behind. Apparently there was supposed to be like windows and all that stuff in the temples, but they never got put in. Or what about Mario 2 America, right? The company took a chance there. Nintendo took a chance there. What about Double Dragon 2? 1 and 2 are very different, right? 2 in the arcade is different than 2 on the NES. So yeah, companies should definitely take a chance, and you know what? You can't win them all. Sometimes you fail. It's the way it is. Infinite Metal says, now, the other controversial thing for me, I actually hate Breath of Fire 4. You'll find plenty of people that love 4, but that's the one I think is the worst. Really? Okay. I thought 4 looked very good. I've never played it. 3 looks amazing, man. I played 3 in the beginning, so I got Nina, and this was like back in '97 or something. I was playing it on my cousin's place, and I never got to play it again after that. So it'll be cool when I get to play it again. Oh yeah, Dave, you can actually promote guys in this. At level 10, you can start promoting, and there's like multiple classes that you can do your guys. So I may try it. Excuse me, I may try it after this. Infinima says it's a matter of taste. Taste, I get it. What people love about 4 is mostly hyper focused on story, a couple of other things, but it took up a lot of things I like in RPGs. So Infinite Metal, I'll tell you this. This is a pretty controversial thing about RPGs, but I fucking don't care about stories anymore in RPGs. Stories don't do anything for me. When I was little, I liked it, right? But what I care about these days about RPGs is gameplay, pacing, and fun factor, controls, music, just like being in the moment. I'm playing the RPG and making me want to come back, right? And a big ass story like in Final Fantasy VI, I don't give a fuck about anymore, right? In RPGs, although FF7 was good, I like more like when I played Final Fantasy Tactics, and I was just like, whoa, I want to do one more battle. I want to do one more battle. I want to do one more battle. And I couldn't put it down. It was hard to put down. And when I was streaming, before going to bed, I go like grind a little bit more, you know? It's I like those kind of gameplay aspects, right? Dave says, promotion, Shiny 4 strikes back again. Yeah. That's pretty cool, right? Infinite says, yep, I tell people I have books for good stories. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy a good RPG story. It can add to a game, but never as good as classics I read anyways. Well, remember Infinite Metal, there's more ways to tell a story than words. You could show actions. You could put 2 events together that could tell a story. And Final Fantasy Tactics does that. It barely shows any words, but it narrates a story. Right? So when you get these modern games with these big ass stories about trivial content, it's like I don't give a fuck about most of the stuff said in the game. This game too, there's very little words. And for example, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, that's an RPG game, and I love it. I just love the pacing of the game. It's just like go 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 go, and there's barely any dialogue parts, and the dialogue parts barely slow down the game. It's so well done, right? Infinite Metal says, "Oh, I know, man." And I'm not at all putting down the RPGs. And one of the best storytelling games, I still say, is Super Metroid. Yeah. Okay. There's nearly nothing said, but the gameplay just immerses you and the experience, and the little bits tell you a lot. Yeah, exactly. Like in the beginning, you see Ridley steal the Metroid. There's no words. You just see it, right? You experience it. You're like in the game. You're like, holy fuck, this is cool. This is a story. You can read the beginning of the game, you know? Okay, she leveled up. And we're gonna heal. Or you get you get a story like Over Battle 64 where it's so serious and it's so big. There's this grand thing going on, you know. It's like countries fighting countries, and I like that too. Look at that blood. Infinimo says, when the Metroid comes in at the end and saves Samus and sacrifices itself, the whole sequence expresses more than hours of dialogue in some games. Yeah, exactly, right? That was so cool, man. You know what? Let's do this. Let's end turn here. Infinimo says, it all depends. Some games do a good job with more traditional laying out story. Oh man, really? That's a lot of damage. Traditionally laying out the story. I'm just with you that it doesn't have to be written form, and when it is, it's not the same as being a good story. Yeah, man. Yeah, so another example of that, storytelling. So have you played Mario RPG, Paper Mario RPG, The Thousand Year Door on the GameCube? So I'll start out with the good. The battle system, holy fuck. The battle system is so good. It's one of the greatest battle systems I've played in any game. It is tight. It's like a fighting game. You gotta get those frames right to actually get more attacks. And there's multiple ways to play the battle. You could basically play the crowd. Okay, that's how I played. I played the crowd, and I got more like flower point. There was flower points, then there was like special star points. So I basically abused the fuck out of star points, and I was able to beat the game by just abusing star points. So the battle system is amazing, but the story is unbelievably tedious, trivial. Like everything about the story is annoying. Like it just pissed me off inside that I had to fucking read these words on the screen. It was like a waste of my life. Every time I read something dumb or something meaningless about the game, right? So something like that. It's like somebody fucking wrote the game for Paper Mario, and somebody else did the battle system. They didn't even meet each other, I bet. Infinite Metal says, so 1000 Year Door is like the one of that series I haven't played or seen. The battle system is unbelievable, man. If it wasn't for the battle system, I wouldn't have played that game. Okay. So I got the treasure. No, I haven't got the treasure chest. Awesome. Well, let's see what's in this. Oh, something good finally. You got Mood Ring. What? It puts you in a bad mood? Infinite Metal says, yeah, I used to hear how lots of heavy gamers just skip through all the story points in many big RPGs. I never understood why you'd bother playing. And I started playing some of those larger, newer games. they were doing and realized it gets too much. Yeah, like in those newer games, man, in Langrisser Mobile, they were fucking talking about their dress. The girls would be talking about their dress, and then the guy characters would be talking about like doing something cool. What the fuck does any of that matter? What is it? Explicate? Don't explicate. Demonstrate. Demonstrate me in the game how you want to show me, how you want to tell the story. Don't explicate it. It's fucking lame. It's lazy. Infamous says, like, I like the Yakuza games fine, but outside of the main story, I find myself mostly just skimming the side story dialogue. It's sometimes interesting and someone clearly put a lot of work in it, but it just goes on for something that matters for just the next few minutes. Yeah, so have you ever heard of Laconic? So the Spartans. Okay, cool. The Spartans were very big on this. Okay, I'll give you an example. Philip of Macedon, Alexander the Great's father. Don't fucking kill anybody. Alexander the Great's father wrote a letter to the Spartan city, like, if I am to come to Sparta, I will annihilate all your men. I will enslave all your women and children. I will destroy all your fields. Okay? The Spartans wrote back a message responding, and they put if. Right? They said everything that they needed to with one fucking word, hence laconic. So you could say so much with like little. There are ways to do it. You just got to be witty. And I think that's a lost art in RPG games. For sure, it's not always easy. Absolutely, that's why they should be getting talented writers and such, right? Okay, so what I should do with the heal? No, 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 no. You're not done. See, I like it in this game where I press done on the character, it doesn't just end their turn. I've done that in other strategy RPGs where I press down on the character, like, fuck, I didn't mean to move him. But this gives you that extra step. So it's just good user interface to play with. Oh, come on. Infinite Metal says, and then you also get people that complain it's a full price game. That a full price game has an official gameplay time of only 30 hours or whatever. Unfortunately, it just encourages companies to pad otherwise good games with stuff to take up time. If a full price game gives me 30 hours, that's fine. If it's good, all that matters if it's good, will I want to play it again? But sometimes the best games I don't want to play all the time. Like Ogre Battle 64 and Castlevania Symphony of the Night, they're so good, but it's not a game that I just want to play like over and over again. Shining Force, that's a game I could play over and over again. Oh shit. And I do want to play over and over again. I don't know, it's just how it is. Yeah. And Benamal says, if the game is really good, that 30 hours or even 10 hours or even less is going to get turned into a lot more. Anyways, replay value is real when the game is simply good. A lot easier to do if it isn't hugely long. Yeah, isn't the new Ninja Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge, really short? But it's got tons of replay value? I think making a game like that would be a lot more important than making a long-ass beat-em-up game. Yeah, I haven't played it, but I found out that it's on PS4. So we got a Willow Games here, Willow Video, right? It's like used to be a chain store sort of. There was like 3 of them around, and they sell movies and video games, a lot of retro stuff. And I saw it there. I saw the big box PS4 Shredder's Revenge Special Edition, but it's pretty fucking expensive. Infinimo says, oh, the Streets of Rage 4 isn't super long, probably similar size as 2, but just super well done. And they just gave some extra modes to give a lot of replay value. I heard Streets of Rage 4 is really fucking good. I'd love to play it. And especially since I'm trying to figure out a way to stream PS3 and PS4, because you gotta strip that copyright signal, right? Okay, Magic, Dark Star. Oh, it won't go there. Okay. Infinite Metal says, it is, I'll say I loved 2 for decades, but Forest King, yeah, I figured out doing that for the PS3. Yeah, because Sony wants you to stream from the PlayStation. I heard that all you need is a HDMI splitter. I got one for Best Buy. It didn't work, but my buddy got one from what's the name, huh? He got one from Amazon, and as soon as he's back from his trip, we're gonna try it out. If it works, I'll let you know the brand, because I'm gonna get one too, and it's cheap. Infinite Metal says, yeah, I figured out doing that for the PS3. Nah, it's about movies. Oh, they didn't want people streaming movies on the PS3 and PS4 5? Because I'm finding out that the PS4 is actually pretty dope. It's got lots of good games. The Willow Games has PS4 games for like $10, man. So I've been picking those up. Okay. Let's move you here. This old dude looks really cool. Infinite says, Movie Association partially developed HDMI protocol. They didn't want anyone recording HDMI signals. HDCP, that's what it's called. So you know about this, okay? HDCP is a complicated mess. Yeah, apparently Sony went after companies that were selling HDMI splitters with the HDCP signal stripper. So now companies that sell these HDMI splitters cannot advertise that it does that on Amazon, but apparently some of them still do. So I went on Reddit, and I found out what brands do that, right? Hey, Apollo, how's it going? What's up? What's up? The usual can't sleep. Yeah, that sucks. I find for sleeping, I just close my eyes and try to clear my mind. Or just sometimes I'll play video games or something, or watch a movie. It'll help me sleep too. Infinimo says Sony is well tied into movies in general, right, with the Blu-ray, but also the PS3 was, PS3 was one of the early Blu-ray players, and Sony's other business is selling Blu-ray and tech to the movie companies. So yeah, they enforce HDCP on their consoles. So that's why, huh? Everyone kind of is supposed to, but I can capture from the Switch just fine. Does the Switch also do that? I don't have a Switch. Dave says, rough sleeping. Sleep is at a premium. Can't do much without it, right? Damn, Apollo, you haven't slept in 3 nights? That's rough. You gotta go zombie mode. Yeah, I'd love to be able to stream PS4. Transformers Energon. It's the Generation 1 Transformers game on PS4. Is so cool, man. So cool. It's like a beat 'em up game. And I love to stream that. So Infinite Metal says the Switch does not block. Technically anything connected to the HDMI is supposed to block a lot of stuff, but not all. I think the Switch gets by without licensing problems because they don't play movies. Okay. Also, Switch SD cards are really cheap. I think I paid $15 for mine, a really big one, and I use that for my Mega EverDrive, right? For all the ROMs. Infernal says, but yeah, I have a device that will take the component signal from PS3 and then convert it back to HDMI for me to capture. Oh, okay. I use a RetroTink, so that could probably do it. But yeah, with the PS3, I just use HDMI, so I want to keep it like that. I just have so many components, man. And speaking of component, so I've been wanting to get my NES modded to RGB for the longest time. Then it dawned on me, why not just buy a console that's pre-modded? Well, Analog FT or whatever makes a Nintendo, a Famicom Nintendo from original parts or something, so they're scavenging parts, I think. And it's got the FM sound from the Famicom on a Nintendo, so you could play Famicom and Nintendo games, and it's a top loader. It's got a HDMI component as video. It's got a composite, right? The one I'm interested in is component. I would love to play my NES through component, because through composite kind of looks like shit, right? So I'm pretty excited about that. But apparently this console is like $500 American. So that's probably my next big purchase I'm gonna do. Infinite Metal says, if you have a RetroTink, I hear it is top-notch thing to use. I got a cheap solution for now. Yeah, RetroTink is nice, man. If you're willing to spend the money, it is amazing. The 4K just came out. That's not the one I have. I got the 5X, but the 4K, oh man. you can put a HDMI signal in there, and it actually it perfectly scales it, so it makes it look better. And it's got like tons of options on it. Oh, it's beautiful. It's wonderful. Someone else says, I know a lot of people are unhappy with composite nowadays. But back when I was growing up, I only had RF. When I finally started using composite out of this, I was happy. That's it. I like to get that S-video signal or better. Yeah, oh man. Composite back in the day? That was like the HD. Because all we had was fucking RF. Somebody upstairs apartment was like fucking with the signal. RF was like gone, right? So it was so dependent on whatever devices was being used around you. I mean, with the composite going through the retro thing, it looks alright. S-Video looks good. I stream my Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64 through S-Video, and that's good enough. I'm okay with that. Maybe if I have an abundance of money, I'll get RGB modded N64 and SNES. My Genesis outputs what is it called? SCART, which is a component. It's like component RGB. It's so nice, man. It's really, really nice. Yeah, I'm all about getting like the best signal for all the consoles and everything. With the PlayStation, I'm using a Japanese SCART cable. I picked it up from one of the video game stores here. Still got the box. It's like all in Japanese. Infinite Metal says, right, I hear SCART is the prime for a lot of old systems, but it just wasn't common in North America. Right. So with the SCART, with the retro tank, the SCART hooks up to it and it sends a HDMI signal. So it just converts it, right? But yeah, SCART and component are the same thing, man. They're just same beauty. And I like component better than HDMI when it comes to older systems. The colors look better, the pixelation looks better, everything looks better. Let's do some healing. So just like Shiny Force, the healers in this game, which I used up all my healing. The healers in this game actually gain experience for using healing spells. Yeah, for example, I use SCART on my PlayStation, Sega Saturn, Genesis, those three consoles, and I got the other two cables from Castlemania. They sell these awesome cables, right? Custom made cables. Okay, so let's finish off this guy. And for the GameCube, the older models can use a component. It actually has this hatch where you take off the back of the GameCube, because GameCube just outputs S-Video and composite, right? But if you take the back out, there's actually a component out. Well, where do you get the cables? You got to get first-party fucking cables, right? And those things are really expensive. They're like hundreds of dollars. And I was at the Willow Games, and they have this third-party composite component cable for the GameCube, and it was like $70, you know, Canadian. So I'm like, hey, I'll check it out. I checked it out online, great reviews, so I got it. And my GameCube looks amazing now. I play like Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance games on that thing. Okay, Dolan says we owe you our lives. Captain Dolan. You're Captain Dolan. Well, if it isn't Miss Eleni. You know each other? Yes, Captain Dolan, one of my father's men. Tell us, Captain, what are those monsters? Infinite Metal says, I just really love the retro thing to come down in price, but somewhat doubt it will. My guess is that that kind of old tech conversion is just expensive for parts. Electronics get cheaper over time unless you go backwards like that. Check out the Retro Think 5X. It may have come down in price. It's like $300. But if you're gonna spend $300 and if you really care about the video game, like playing your games in quality, man, it's worth it. But again, it's $300. So since the 4K came out, check out the RetroThink website. Maybe the 5X went down in price because the guy like custom makes it, huh? He makes them himself like one at a time. Oh, you keep checking on it, huh? Yeah, don't get any other upscalers. Only go for the RetroThink brand because his customer service is immaculate. So I'll tell you this: the one I got, my RetroThink 5X, the S video output stopped working. Right? It just wasn't giving any signal. So I sent them back. I just paid for the shipping back and forth, and he gave me a brand new one. So the guy, I think his name is Mike. He's super cool, very polite, great customer service. So when you're getting this, you pretty much got like a lifetime thing, right? Infinite Metal says, I'm not saying it isn't worth it. I just can't justify throwing that kind of money around. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like $300. It's like you could pay bills with that fucking money, right? And you said you have kids, so I totally get it, man. Hey, Astro, how's it going? What's up? Astro says, can't be here for long, but don't think I forgot ya. How was your day? I've been good, bro. Just playing some Vandal Hearts and talking about basically console upscaling with Infinite Metal here. Tell us, Captain, what were those monsters? Those are my men transformed into monsters, and they are being led by General Magnus. I don't believe you. You lie. So Magnus is her father. Yeah, we're talking about basically RGB components scarred on consoles, S-video, RF connections back in the day, composite. Astro says, if you don't believe someone, just say you lie. Oh yeah, she said, I don't believe you, you lie. I'm sorry, Eleni, but it's the truth. Well, anyway, this place isn't safe. Let's go back to Yuzu Village. So I just got 3 new characters here. Astro says, back in the day, writing was so bad. Some of it. Dolan says, let me try to explain the whole story. As you know, we came to investigate the ruins on this island. We were sent after stone tablets indicating that these ruins are the site of Toro's Ark were discovered. Toro's Ark? From the Holy Tomb? So it's basically a reference to Noah's Ark in the Bible, right? I know it's hard to believe, But this has tremendous political significance for the new government. Wait, I think I understand. The Asha dynasty claims to be descended from the Torah, who used the Ark to survive the Great Calamity. Discovery of the Ark would provide evidence that the Torah is no legend. The story of the Torah is real, and the Asha dynasty has a rightful claim to rule Ishtaria. That's correct. Furthermore, with all the recent terrorist attacks, we thought that this kind of news might cause a mass riot. That's why we came to this island secretly. I see why you came here, but where did those monsters come from? Astra says, now motherfuckers in games have hippopotamus super cali fragilistrophily via whatever that word is. That's the longest word, man. Is that a real word? I'm not exactly sure myself. We were only away for a short time, but something happened. When we got back and saw how they had transformed, we tried to escape, but they captured us. It wasn't until today that we managed to escape. So what I got from the story is that they're searching for a relic. A holy relic. Lester says, nah, I made it up, but I swear people say, really? People say that word? I'll say hippopo. How about that? So there's no clues as to what happened. It's possible that Magnus had a secret mission. He did seem to be searching for something in particular. So you can promote in this game, man. Why don't I save the game and I try it out right now? Promoting dudes. Let's promote some dudes. Okay, so you go here, you go to the dojo, which is the church. They called it a dojo for some reason. So you go advance and check this out. Champion. So the new character here, yeah. So healers can become, I got 2 healers, right? And healers can become bishop or monk. Ammo needs more experience before seeking advancement. Okay, so he's level 9, that's why. Okay, let's try doing main dude. By the power of the gods of light and darkness, grant this soul new wisdom and powers in the service of mankind. I'm not sure if I want to promote right away. Oh wow, yeah, he's got a big ass shield now. Got different clothes. Okay, let's see. So it doesn't cost any money to promote. Doesn't cost items. Yeah, their shields changed. That's a what is it called? Scutum? The Roman shield. So let's do a Hawk Knight. So I wonder if a Hawk Knight is flying unit. I love flying units in all RPGs. Oh, what? Okay, look. The mage can become a sorcerer or a monk. See, I wonder what the bishop is and what the monk is. Maybe the monk is like a fighting healer, kind of like a paladin. Whoa, he's got a cool hat now. Okay, let's try monk. So I will be resetting here. I just want to see what the classes do. Maybe they get spells right away. Maybe they gotta level up to get spells. I don't know. Oh, she got claws. What? Shining Force, anybody? Monk with claws? Let's do a guardsman. What's a guardsman? I would have thought the guardsman would have the giant shield, right? Guard, right? Guards. Oh, whoa. So let's do bowman. So the female character becomes a bowman. It turns into a dude. Is that what happens? I think I'll have to go to a battle and see how they move around and such. Obviously, sorcerer. Oh, look at that shield. That's a Pavis, I believe. Oh yeah, these stupid hints here. Infinite Metal says, never forget, a bow usually requires more strength than the common weapons, not less. Bows, yeah, especially the English longbow, right? Or the Welsh longbow. 6 foot long longbow, and they were trained since they were little kids. That's crazy. Okay, so let's check out the status. Level 11. Oh, look at that. So Guardsman has more HP. Let's compare. More attack, more HP, more defense. Swordman has more agility. Okay. What about spells? Okay, so they have to level up to actually get spells. Piercing Ray, okay, never mind. Here. Let's do a battle. Wait a moment, Ash. If you're going into ruins, I'd like to go with you. Unlike the villagers, the soldiers can't be cured. There's no other way. So I'll free them from their nightmare with my own blade. I actually really like the portraits. Going to, if I don't, I'll regret it for life. Going to, right? I'm on. We just escaped. And you want us to go back there? Gonna make me go all alone? Yeah, got it. I'll go too. So I definitely want to see what the characters do. Move. Look like in combat. Before I reset. My biggest question is, what's the difference between the flyer and the archer? Infinite Metal says, yeah, short bows too. They just increase the resistance. The ability of the bow to travel far and fast depends on the pull force. Yeah, something like just a simple bow or a composite bow, which is kind of has like the butt shape, you know, the M. Enemies not too many, but oh, we got more demons here. Uh-oh, there are more behind us. We are surrounded. I'll take care of the ones back here. Don't be a fool. So our forces are being split up. And we got golems. Damn, there's still more. We're totally surrounded. Stick together or we'll never get out of here. One of my passions is just history. I just listen to a lot of history podcasts and history audiobooks. So how do I get close? So I don't, whatever. Okay, so let's see. Oh, so it's not an archer anymore. So Diego has a spear. Okay, so it's a flying unit with a spear. What about the archer here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What? Maybe having an archer would be pretty advantageous. You're telling me I could shoot the enemy from here? Yeah, that could be advantageous. Infinite Metal says, what I'm hearing is the enemy has better strategists. Yeah, man, history can be a lot of fun. Yeah, absolutely. So, hold on. Oh, look at that. The levels don't reset. So I should be promoting. I should be promoting as soon as possible. Okay. I think one archer. One archer is good. And I think flying allies is going to be extremely good. Okay, so let's reset. Yes, yes, speaking of history, like I love what I love about history is a lot. It means a lot of things to different people, right? For me, it's like history is like wars and battles and weapons and heroism and all that stuff, right? That's history for me. Like I don't give a fuck if somebody drew a painting in history. Yeah, that's cool, but I rather care about Genghis Khan just whooping lots of ass. To me, that's more important and more interesting. So I should be promoting my dudes. So level 99 is max, and I should be promoting my dudes as soon as possible. Konami! Okay. Jojo. So let's do it then. Infinite says, I like a lot of general areas of history, though the part I dig into more, I guess, would be considered a bit obscure. To a lot of people now. Cool, let's talk about it. Like, remember that trend on TikTok? Wives asking their husbands, "How often do you think about the Roman Empire?" I thought about it. I'm like, every fucking day. I'm always thinking about the Roman Empire, how they built things, how they whooped ass, how they used strategies to defeat uh, more numerous opponents, how they declined. It's pretty important. I think I should do 2 guardsmen, 1 swordman. Yeah, this guy looks really cool as a guardsman. Let's try guardsman here. Whoa! Okay, he looks really, really cool. So I want to know, what weapon does the guardsman use? Okay, he uses an axe. Okay, okay. I tell my son stories about famous last stands. So, of course, the Battle of Thermopylae with the Spartans and Persians. That's a famous one. So yeah, what I'm thinking is, I turn him into a Hawk Knight, I turn her into a Hawk Knight, and I leave this guy an archer. Anyone else says that? Kicked in, I like the message. Did you lose the message that you were writing? Meowth also has that problem. I believe when the messages are too long, it like glitches out and they'll vanish. So when I type big messages, I always Control C, select all, Control C, right? Just in case that the message is lost, and I could just Control V again. Infinite Mel says, yeah, just saying what kind of history. I go into more, and it's fine. I know how it goes around here. I just keep forgetting to worry about it. Okay, let's go guardsman here. Let's go swordman again. I also love the history of the Crusades. Obviously, the first 3 are the more interesting ones, right? And the ones after that are just kind of all over the place. Hawk Knight. Wonder if she'll lose her ass cheeks. Let's see what happened to her ass cheek. No, she lost her ass cheek. She kind of looks like Quasimodo with the hunchback there. Infinite says, yeah, that's pretty interesting area. A lot of people get skewed idea about. Oh, the history of the Crusades. Yeah, if you put like modern progressive views and values on it, a lot of history seems pretty bad, right? But you got to look at history through a history's lens. How did people in that era think about things, right? And how people thought back then is completely different. Okay, so pretty much everybody's gonna be promoted the same way, except the healers. I think I'll keep bishops. I'll keep 2 bishops. I'll probably end up getting a monk or something. Infinite Metal says, I'll say even in multiple directions on that one. There's both those that want to paint it overly harsh, but then there's also some people that react to that being a bit overly rose tinted glasses too. Trying to understand exactly what you're saying. But yeah, I think what you're saying is there's 2 sides to every story, right? Yeah. For example, the First Crusade for Christian Europe was a defensive war. That's how they viewed it. It's like, oh, the Islamic invasions came in the 600s AD, and they conquered Egypt, they conquered Antioch, and they conquered all these like Christian lands, right? Like the Levant. So it's like, hey, we need to go get it back, and big coalition goes all through Europe, right? It's pretty crazy. But it was also a direct reaction to the Turks. I'm actually from Turkey, right? That's like my ancient people. They all came into like Asia Minor and then started conquering everything. And the Byzantine Empire is like, the Romans are like, yo, man, Western Europe, man, we need some help, man. It's like, yeah, man, we'll send some dudes, and it was lots of dudes. So he cannot promote. So we'll do bishop with her. I'm a bit more blunt. You'll notice that with me. I'm not very politically correct, and especially since I'm not on Twitch anymore. Like fucking Twitch is there. It was such like a pussy platform, man. It was like a bunch of pussies and cunts there, and I go to somebody's channel, and then somebody was talking about like what was it, depression, and it's like if I don't have this person's view on depression, it's like I can't believe you said that. It's like, what? It's like, I'm just telling you what to do when you have depression. It's like, it's the emotive state. It's your body's way of saying it's like, yo man, you gotta fucking do something, right? Yeah, so Twitch, man, kind of fucking pissed me off in that sense. I like Kick a lot more freedom in what I could say. I guess it's kind of like the difference between Facebook and Twitter. Cool. Infinite Metal says, as in, some see it as a great example of how terrible people were with doing the Crusades, and they have one axe to grind. Then there are people that are reacting to that attitude and correctly realize that take it that take is off the mark, but just start acting like everything was all glory and great intentions. It was about indulgences. The Crusades. Back then, it was like all these bloodthirsty dudes that killed people. They're like, fuck, I'm going to hell because they're all Christian, right? I'm going to hell. So if I do this holy mission, I'll go to heaven, right? So I'm not putting on my modern lens and looking at it like that. I'm looking at it from their point of view. It was about indulgences. Some of it was it was obviously a land grab. Like I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say it wasn't. It was a fucking land grab too. It was these dudes in Europe, you know, second sons, third sons, of wealthy lords. They're like, yo, I want my own fiefdom. I want my own country. I want my own land. So they went to the Holy Land to do that, right? Mel says there's often a risk of feedback loops when you start getting polarized groups, and groups end up pushing each other further extremes, and both lose sight of reason and logic. Yes, absolutely, bro. Critical thinking. Think first, then feel after, right? Okay, so definitely let's save. Infinite Metal says, yeah, the Crusades were in general complicated, involving a lot of different people, factions, motives, particularly over a long amount of time. Yeah, they have critical thinking. I've been really training my son in critical thinking as well. Right, I've been tricking him, and since he was little, and now he's like, he just catches on to like tricks and lies. It's like he can tell when people are lying to him, and he's only like 6, right? But yeah, that's exactly it, man. Crusades are very complicated, but that's the fun of it, right? It's super cool seeing like heavy cavalry. I see the Crusades as fucking knights, heavy cavalry, just going and stomping on dudes, and then you got in the east, you got fucking horse archers going pew 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 pew, and then you got heavy cavalry fighting horse archers, and it's cool stuff, man. Check out some of these promotions. Oh yeah, I got an item, didn't I? I got a mood ring. You got the mood ring. There it is. Let's try giving it to her. Right, the UI here isn't as good, so let's go back there. Oh man, it's fucking light. Well, you only get 2 hours of me in the light, and after that, it runs out of batteries. No, it's not Kira. Kira is the archer. It's Eleni. Herb. He does have a herb, okay. Mood ring. Changes your mood depending on the time of day. Do I equip it? I got some crap here, okay. Oh, because when I promoted, right, okay, I can always sell this crap. Let's go to the... I think they're gonna say the same stuff. Let's go back to the tavern. I think they're gonna say the same stuff again, but I'll just go over fast. Sometimes they give items, right? So after every battle, you wanna talk to everybody. Okay, let's do the battle. Okay, again, they say that they're gonna join me, right? Yeah, and then speaking back of the Crusades, right? Like a lot of war, killing, mean stuff happening, right? So something that dawned on me about human history is the norm for people is being at war. Because throughout human history, since people have existed, they've always fought, they've always warred. So warring over land, over possessions is the norm. That's the status quo. That's in our biology. So we've never been at peace. There's been moments of peace throughout history, but that is not the norm. That's like the that's the quiet time before the storm, right? And there's tons of historical data that could back me up on this. And once I learned that, I'm like, huh, people talk about world peace. I mean, it's nice. I would like world peace, but it's not the norm, right? That's a big fucking black pill moment, right? Infinite Mel says, I'll say, even though they have a bit particular bias, most people do. There's a history online video group I like, and I let my kids watch because they usually try to impress the fact that the stories are complicated and they have. And that's the topic. Oh, cool. Let me know what this is, man. Because my son, I tell my son history stories, and he likes them. And then they do a live segment at the end of each series where the main researcher sits back and just rants about the fact that they got some things wrong. They glossed over a lot of complexity, the topic to keep it understandable for the time they have and such, which I appreciate. A big thing I try to tell my kids is to remember what we learned through most things. It's only a very small part of the real stuff, yeah? Extra history, okay, cool. I will check that out. I think I may have heard of it. Dave says, world peace would be nice. Rough thing is how war is taking place on so many levels. What might seem like peace on one level is a war on another time. Economic warfare springs to mind. Dave, what a good commander should be doing in a time of peace is preparing for war. Right? Because if a commander is not preparing for war, they ain't doing shit and they're going to lose. It's like, ever hear of people saying this? I wish bullying didn't exist. Right? Bullying sucks. Right, in school, but it has always existed and always will. How do you fight bullying? You don't fight it by teaching kids not to bully, because there's always going to be a bully. How do you fight bullying? You fight it head on, right? That's how you fucking fight bullying. You don't try to eradicate it, because it's like chopping off a human limb. It's in our DNA, sadly, right? So that's what you do about it. You fight it head on. It's like, I hate to say it, but you punch the bully in the nose, and the bully's like, okay, I won't bully this kid anymore. I'll go bully somebody else, and that other kid has to learn too. Enemies, not too many. Oh yeah, so my army splits. Dave says, such is the world we are in. Yeah. Exactly. It's like, I have a kid, right? Infinite Metal has kids too, so we try to prepare our kids for the world, right? I I, I want to train my son to be a beast. Be a beast, and then he can handle situations a lot better, right? Tell you surrounded, stick together or we'll never get out of here alive. Yeah, sticking together is the right strategy. Oh, I see. Warriors can't move much. So what we'll do, I'll just avoid these guys, right? Up north. And I'll move my forces back. If I crush these guys, we can pretty much pincer them on both sides, right? Infinite Metal, if you're interested, There is Art of War book called The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. If you listen to Tupac, he talks about it, right? But it's great where you could use that art of war in your everyday life. It's pretty interesting. It's like what a prince must do to succeed in life. Before I attack, I want to see. Let's see what these characters look like. Pimel says, have you ever hear the theory that book was meant to be more of a satirical than it ended up getting taken? No. What I know of Niccolo Machiavelli's The Prince is that when he wrote it, it was censored, right? He wrote it in the 1400s, and it's in he was in like Italian state, like Genoa or something, and he wrote it, and the church and the Pope was so disgusted by what was said in the book that the church couldn't believe that someone had to act that way. But every person in power knew, it's like, of course, that's what you're supposed to do. This is what you do to be like the top dog, the chief, right? Dave says the vile bog looks like a tasty Slurpee. Yeah, Slurpee, right? Infinite Metal says, I do think often about Sun Tzu's Art of War myself. Yeah, that one's a short one too, huh? It's on YouTube. You can just like throw it on while you play a video game or something, or do some chores. Yeah, the only thing Sun Tzu doesn't talk about is the advancement of technology in warfare. He talks about like what positions to take, what to do to better win battles, right? Infinite says, "Oh, you ever read the Dune books past the first one?" Oh, I've never read Dune. I don't read fiction, except for like Lord of the Rings. I think Dave might have read Dune. Oh, look at this. What? Well, I don't want to do that. Area of effect? Wow. Yeah, I read like historical books. Even historical fiction, I don't really read. Oh, you read the Doom books? Dave, nice. Frank Herbert. Was he a soldier? Frank Herbert? For example, Tolkien, who wrote Lord of the Rings, fought in World War One. I don't like the way she looks, all hunchback and shit. Dave says Herbert, I think, worked at a newspaper before becoming a novel author. Okay. Yeah, to write fiction, you need a certain type of imagination, right? Infinite says, well, it gets a lot more philosophical and such after the first one. Apparently, the writer was some kind of high-level analysis for a long time and had access to a lot of intelligence research and info. Dave says he was a journalist of some sorts. Okay. Intelligence as in, this is like during the Cold War? Are we talking about like James Bond kind of stuff? Intelligence? Whoa. Couldn't do it. Fundamental says yes, though not that he was a spy or anything. Cool, cool. I love Tolkien though. It's so fucking good. With all the races and with all the good versus evil dragons and all that stuff. And everything comes from Tolkien. I never knew that until basically my 20s. Okay, so swordmen move a lot more, I see. Infamel says, oh, that's what it was. He was a speechwriter for a senator, and because of that he got access to a lot of information. Okay, when did he write the books? It sounds like it was during the Cold War. So obviously before 91, right? Camille says right late 60s through the 80s, I believe. Oh, that's interesting. So when you think about it, the 60s were peak fear for pretty much everybody in the world, right? Because with the atomic age, nukes, people could have gotten nuked, right? Countries could have gotten nuked. And the 80s got really fucking close because of some training exercises with the Reagan administration and with the USSR, right? So he lived. I mean, if you lived through that as a journalist, and you said he had a lot of information, so he probably had. He probably knew a lot about how close we got to being extinct as a species because of nukes. Oh, that's beautiful. This might kill. Oh, look at that. 1 HP. Arrow to the face. I love the history of the USSR. Starting during World War One. It's I saw this one documentary, The Russian Revolution in Color. Unbelievable. Just it puts you in that time and you see everything in color from 1917 up to the 1920s and what went on in Europe, man. And after that, I was like, I want more. I want more. I listened to audio lectures on the USSR, how people lived back then. Right, this is like right after World War One, so the country's all fucked up, right? And basically up till World War Two, right? And books on it, audiobooks. I don't read. I got fucking ADHD, so I can't just stand there and fucking read pages. I like audiobooks. If anyone says, "Oh yeah, you probably know about those couple of times certain USSR officials were supposed to just start launching nukes, but some commanding officer refused." No, I don't know about that, but I bet it happened. We came close, man. As a human race, we came close to getting nuked many times throughout history. Let's see how this is gonna go. Oh no. Is he gonna die? Is main dude gonna die? He got punched in the head. No! Okay, he's not dead. Main dude survived. Infinimel says, for that matter, you may be aware of how Khrushchev ruined his own career to help resolve the Cuban Missile Crisis, but still getting the U.S. to remove some nukes from Turkey. Yeah, that's what it was about, because America put nukes in Turkey. Russia got pissed off. The revolutionaries took over Cuba. Then Khrushchev is like, yo, let's put some nukes there. And what I found interesting too was Dan Carlin. If you don't know Dan Carlin's podcast, it's amazing. It's called Hardcore History, and he's got addendum as well. And he talked about the Cuban Missile Crisis and Kennedy, right? The president, President Kennedy, and how Khrushchev thought he was like, oh, this guy's a kid and he's a pussy because he's a kid. And apparently they had a meeting, and not much is known about the meeting. It's just been, I think it's been written down, or there might be some like recordings of it. But after that, after Khrushchev had his meeting, it was like, whoa, I got to take this guy seriously. You know, he's actually a man. He's not a kid, right? Yeah, great podcast, man. If you listen to Hardcore History, it is so good. Look out for the poisonous areas. Oh, poisonous areas. Ugh. Okay. Guess I just missed that. Oh, they got poisoned. I see. Okay. Infinite Metal says, oh, I've heard after their first meeting, Khrushchev came out thinking RFK was weak. Oh, okay. That might have been the... Okay. That might have been when he thought he was weak, and then they talked again or something. Infinite Metal says, largely because JFK was known to be over-drugged to deal with some back pain. Oh, he was taking drugs, huh? Probably painkillers. Yeah, he's a World War II veteran. He saved his entire squad. Fucking, like swimming back to shore. Right? They were stuck at sea. He fucking put the rope on him, and then he swam back to shore. JFK was a badass, and also very against the Vietnam War. Infinite Metal says he was getting injected by the original Dr. Feelgood. Oh man, okay. So how do I do this? We're gonna have to form. What I don't understand is my Hawk Knights use a spear, but the spear has only one range. Now, isn't the point of a spear, the point of a spear, is that it's a longer weapon, so you could hit 2 spaces away? That's what I would think. Infinite Metal says, since that was considered not a good look for a president or something. To deal with the back pain enough that it wouldn't let on people he was injured. Oh, okay. He was injured, huh? And speaking of American presidents, another one that I found very interesting was Teddy Roosevelt. History and Fire talked about him. And what a dude, man. His history is so good. He forms a group called the Rough Riders, a bunch of American football players, a bunch of cowboys. to go conquer Cuba, right? From the Spanish. If anyone else says, yeah, he certainly is an interesting character. Yeah, and I heard his voice. There's a recording of Teddy Roosevelt. And he sounds British. He sounds like the fucking English people. So 100 years ago, that's what Americans sounded like. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So don't put anybody here. So what I could do, I could... See, I'm surprised too that the Hawk Knights can't fly over these rocks. Phenomenal says, we all love talking about how he was made the vice president to take him out of politics, and that backfired on the party bosses. That's right. That's how he became president. And then after his term, he left, and then he came back to be elected like another 4 years later, right? Because until a few decades ago, US vice presidents were actually considered very low power. They started gaining power in more recent decades, though. Is that so? Okay. Truman as well was vice president until what's the guy? Was it Roosevelt? The other Roosevelt? That is right. FDR. Yeah. He's the guy in the wheelchair. He was also a harsh womanizer, huh? He had like a lot of affairs. Yeah, so they're related through name. They're not related through blood, right? Teddy and FDR. Hey, fun fact about Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy bear comes from Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah, I didn't know shit about American history until recently, and it's really cool, man. I learned about the what was it? The Golden Hills, the battle for the Golden Hills with the what was it? Crazy Horse, right? And General Custer. This is after the American Civil War. So fucking cool. Okay. Infinite Metal says, "Oh yeah, Custer's Last Stand, as it's sometimes called, or the Battle of Little Bighorn." Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. It's really interesting. The Native American, I'll call them heroes at the time. There's Crazy Horse and what's the other guy? Sitting Bull, and their stories are so fucking cool, man. And hearing how the Native Americans live and the values they have is actually different to Judeo-Christian values that we live by, right? For them, it was being generous was an extremely important value, right? History on Fire again goes over this. Great podcast. If you've ever checked it out. But for us, giving and being generous is not it's not valued. It's not important. Like, who gives a fuck about that, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I don't want to put anybody here. I get whacked. Infinite says, yeah, it's also good to realize how Native Americans is a catch for a lot of different groups. Yeah, so what do we say in Canada? We have oh, we use indigenous now, right? That's the politically correct term, but it makes sense. When I was growing up, when I went to school, we used Native Americans, right? But you could say that that Europeans are native to America for the last 400 years, right? You could say that. So indigenous makes more sense because they're indigenous to this land, right? But yeah, some of the some of the Native Americans that I met, they just call each other like Indians, right? We also have Indians from India here, so it gets even more confusing. If anyone else says I'm a bit old school, I still like things like virtue ethics, but the different groups can be extremely different from each other, right? Right, that's true. And that's also part of why relations with them and between them were very hard for a long time. Yeah, the one with the little bighorn, there was like the Crow. There was the Cheyenne, I think. There was like a bunch of different groups, and they fucking hate each other. There's like blood feuds. It's like you killed my father. They go kidnap each other. Then they adopt. They'll even like not kill. They'll like kill a bunch of dudes, and there'll be a kid from the other tribe, and they'll like adopt that kid into their tribe, right? So it's very different than how we have like Judeo-Christian customs, European customs over here. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff hearing about that. There's also the how like Native Americans pretty much take horses from the 1600s, and horses died off in the post like dinosaur era, right? There were apparently horses in North America, but they died off, and the Europeans bring them over in the 1500s, and in the 1600s, the Native Americans become so fucking good with horses. They're like Mongolians, literally, with the horses. They go from hunting the buffalo on foot to being like master hunters on horseback, right? Dave says, I read a book called The Fruits of Graft, where the author made the case that FDR was the president that basically sold the United States to the mercantilists that owned most of the financial system. Pretty compelling and depressing historical viewpoint, but it added up well. Yeah, FDR, right? Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Oh, okay. He's the World War II guy, okay. Not to be mixed up with the other one. Infinite Middle says, and why the Battle of Bighorn was such a rare deal that so many of them put aside their differences long enough to do that battle. Yeah, the little bighorn is like literally all these Native American tribes that were left over that were not incorporated into reserves like conquered by the American federal government. So all of them basically get together, form a coalition, which is incredibly rare because of blood feuds and everything. And they're like, yo, we're gonna fucking whoop their asses. We're gonna take on the US government and we're gonna whoop their asses. And there's all these like badass warriors, right? You could almost say like it's like the Trojan War, you know, where there's like Achilles, there's like Ajax, there's like Hector, right? So there's all these like crazy Native American warriors that like come together, and there's this giant battle, and it's when I say giant, it's like probably 2,000-3,000 Native American warriors, right? And there's probably like 700 or so American soldiers, and they just get decimated, right? Because the Native Americans have like horses, they're not cavalry, and the American soldiers don't have a lot of cavalry, so they just get just like run over pretty much. Very, very cool history. Infinite Metal says the other thing a lot of people really like to overlook though is there are centuries of entire Native American Christian tribes. Right? Yeah. Especially growing up in Quebec, we learned about that, right? With the what are they called? Those like converting priests that come over from Europe, missionaries. Dave says FDR Roosevelt hailed as an amazing president is conventional history, but his policies were so horrible and ongoing that it could have only been deliberate. According to the author, the gold confiscation was a major piece of that. Also, this was during World War II, right? So maybe it was FDR was planning what to do with America post World War II, and his plans showed. So what is going on here? What do we have here? Who got attacked? I wasn't paying attention. I'm really enjoying this like historical talk. I fucking love history. Dave says, "Oh, definitely yes. I think you're right there. Yeah, because you see FDR with the at the conferences with like Churchill and Stalin, right? So that was the new world order, right? That's what they were planning after whooping Germany's ass and like Japan's ass. They're like, we got to get these guys out of here, and then we gotta control the world, right? And that's pretty much it. After World War II, it's like the Western Bloc and the Eastern Bloc, right? Dave says, but America in the hands of mercantilists, as it were, not independent America. Fundamental says a lot of that was pre-U.S. involvement, but the Great Depression was the reason for a lot of just trying anything. And FDR was very aware that the U.S. would likely get in the war. Yeah, there's like conspiracy theories that America let Pearl Harbor happen because it would be an easy way to get in the war, right, against Japan. Which, if we're gonna give the conspiracy theory credit, the American carriers and oil tankers were not at Pearl Harbor. It was only a bunch of destroyers and battleships which actually don't matter in the naval warfare. Naval warfare was all about carriers, man. Dave says Pearl Harbor was totally a false flag. Yeah, I mean, you love conspiracy theories, right? I'd say Pearl Harbor was a failure by the Japanese. It was a fuck up by the Empire of Japan in World War II. It's making me want to play some Axis and Allies. Playing as Japan, having the jump on America. Oh, what? So what I think I should do with these guys, I think I should. Oh, look at that blood. If I go there, I'll get poisoned, right? Dave says it was just too juicy. Yeah, Pearl Harbor was too juicy. The Japanese like, oh man, it's like a giant, I don't know, giant pumpkin. It's like, we need this giant pumpkin. Pearl Harbor. We gotta get it. Infinite Metal says the best analysis I've heard so far was basically there were probably a few people in the US government that were trying to manipulate things to encourage a worse conflict. But does it seem like, say, FDR was actually trying to make Pearl Harbor happen? Worse than that, huh? Ooh, failure. Okay, we gotta heal that guy. Yeah, I really like these flyers. My only gripe with them is that one range. Bonk. He's dead. This game is dope. It's I'd put it as like top tier strategy RPG game. Infinite says, like, that may have been the one where we figured out decades later there was a Russian operative kind of skewing for information, not at the top level, but in a trusted enough position. But he wasn't really in control or believe all that time either, because the USSR wanted pressure on Japan too. They were already in conflict. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Japan was in war with the USSR, yeah. And Germany, the bad guy with the mustache, right? Declared war on I'm putting these videos on like YouTube, right? So I don't want to say all the names, right? So the guy with the mustache, he declared war on America, right? Right after Japan attacked, which is what America wanted, because America couldn't get in the war with Germany. Okay, so to tell who's taken a turn and who hasn't, you see that circle under the character? I was trying to figure this out. They all have a circle underneath, right? Blue is my guys, red is their guys. But if the circle is turning, the character still hasn't moved. Infinite Metal says there was also crazy stuff on the Japanese side. They had a bunch of internal conflict about how to act towards the US. Some long-standing faction there too, despite not wanting to act like Japan was simply all gung-ho for it. Yeah, man. Dan Carlin did a series of episodes on Japan pre and during World War II called Supernova in the East, and it is unbelievable. He goes about the human experience of what it must have felt like being in the Japanese Empire, fighting against them, being part of them, and it's just nuts, man. For example, I'll give you one example. So, American soldiers, Japanese soldiers fight. American soldiers beat the Japanese, right? They're all dead. And American soldiers, this is the first time, they're like, okay, we kill these guys. Let's see if there's any live ones, you know, we'll take them as prisoner of wars. Fucking Japanese soldier jumps up with a grenade and just explodes. And killing a bunch of American soldiers, and the ones that are alive see this like, what the fuck, did that guy just like seppuku, right? So by fighting the Japanese, the Western allies start to learn it's like, we got to fight them differently than we fight the Germans, than we fight the Italians. We can't fight them normally, we need to fight them ruthlessly, right? Because that's how the Japanese fight. They like fight like it's the end, right? So it's it's really, really crazy with the human experience. Infinite Mel says, yeah, it's crazy how much influence international conflicts can have on the internal life of a country, but even more crazy how the internal conflicts of a country spill over in odd ways to international relationships. Dan Carlin described it as the Japanese Empire got a steroid boost, right? Early on when they conquered all those territories, and they were like, I want more. I want more of this fucking stuff. This is so good, right? So they just could not stop conquering. I could probably play this game faster, but I'm talking at the same time. Okay, let's see. Let's heal a sorceress. That's one of the best historical podcasts I've listened to. Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. So this game is like Shining Force without the cutscenes, which is the best part of Shining Force. I had a guy come on my stream and he played a lot of strategy RPGs, and he saw me play Shining Force 3, and it really bugged him that there were cutscenes. He didn't like that the game stops to do cutscenes. Say, it doesn't stop to do cutscenes, it's part of the game. That's what it is. Everybody who likes Shining Force loves the cutscenes. Infinite Metal says it's an RPG after all. Yeah. But seeing those cutscenes makes me want more. Ever play Warsong? It's got the cutscenes. When your dudes fight, there's a screen, and then you see one dude throw like a fireball at the other dude. Then there's Dragon Force on the Sega Saturn. That's got cutscenes, and I love the cutscenes. It's actually part of it. Infinite says, like we talked earlier, RPGs don't need to be heavy on story, but I mean, they need some. Yeah. So flyers take extra damage from bow and arrows. I knew that. Pew! Oh look, they're attacking my tank. That's how poison works. Okay, when the turn starts, it takes damage. Pretty sure I can kill these guys. They're not gonna one-shot me. Let's move this tank here. Oh man. Yeah, they got tons of HP. So the difference between the tank and the swordman is that the swordman has more movement than the tank. The tank has better stats. Infinite Metal says, oh man, going to mix two topics. You hear about how in historical documents and such they talk about magic potions sometimes, and basically that's just what they call poisons. Oh, okay. So what's his name? Mithridates the Fourth, the king of Pontus, was called the Poison King because he took so many potions. I think that's how they said it too in the book, that he took potions, and he took poisons because he was so afraid of getting murdered by somebody poisoning him, right? So that's literally what it was called, the Poison King. Okay, so you see the tile there on the left, bottom left, it says Vile Bog. That's how you get poisoned, okay. I see now. So I wonder what healing is based on. Is healing based on stats, or is it always the same? Potions, magic potions. Oh, what? Healing plus? Wow. Okay, okay. This is looking more like Final Fantasy Tactics now. Cure. Let's cure you. But says, yeah, they could also be medicines, though it depends on when we are talking about and which language we're translating from as to how they make their distinctions. Yeah, Mithridates is like like right after it's like say 100 BC. So before Julius Caesar, but after Alexander the Great. So Turkey and all the Middle East was basically successor states from Alexander's empire that pretty much fractured, right? Yeah, Pontus would be northern Turkey. So like the Black Sea area. Black Sea Empire. That was a great book, man. Oh, that was so good. That's some cool history too, Alexander the Great. So good. Dan Carlin did an episode on the Macedonians. Basically, before Alexander went out and fucking conquered everything, and he said that Alexander's father, Philip II of Macedon, was basically the mafia king. So he's like the mafia of the mafia boss. So any of those guys could have been like a badass fucking conqueror. But Philip II was like the biggest badass of all. And of course, who's his son? It's Alexander the Great. Makes sense, right? So let's see. 1, 2, 4. This spot would be safe. I'm not gonna mess too much with this archer. I don't want to get poisoned again. Infinite Metal says that's something I need to look more into, how the split of Alexander's empire played out. I know some of it, but feel not enough. Bro, it's so fucking cool. The split in Alexander's empire is like a world war at that time. It's it's like backstabbing. It's like fucking Game of Thrones, right? And there's like Macedonia. There's Epirus. There's like there's Ptolemy Egypt. There's the Seleucid Empire, which comes a little bit later. There's the oh man, who's that guy? He was in the Colin Farrell movie, Antigonus the One-Eyed. He's got like a big chunk of the empire, and he's like this old badass dude with like one eye, right? People are like scared of him. Him and his son pretty much take on every other faction, but they end up getting fucking gangbanged, right? And then it's like there's like alliances being shifted. There's the Silver Shield pikemen, which are like the OG pikemen of Alexander the Great's army, right? It's like whoever has these guys in their army wins the battles, right? And pikemen are like phalanx, right? They got these giant ass fucking pikes, and they would switch sides, and they were like these old hardened warriors. They were called the Silver Shields, and dude, it's so fucking cool. It's called the Wars of the Diadochi or Diadochi, something like that. You could easily find it. There's Kings and Generals did a podcast on it. That one's pretty good. So good, yeah. Highly recommend it. Okay, so he's got Herb, but what I can do here, go like this. Action, attack. Pyramidal says, similar to how the Mongolian Empire both built and split. Yeah. Again, I know some aspects, but not what I'd say is that much. You could check out the Secret History on the Mongols. There's a podcast on that. Pretty much talks about everything that we know about the Mongol Empire. Basically, it's I think after Genghis Khan's grandson, the Mongol Empire splits. Barely lasts 100 years. Just shows that the empire was Genghis Khan. It was not the Mongol Empire. It was the Genghis Khan Empire. Okay, so we use the herb, we're good. Let's put main dude here. Done. Yeah, definitely. If you like the history, European history, check out the Wars of the Diadochi. So cool, man. And you might die actually. And warfare really evolves because of that too. No, don't fucking kill him. Don't kill him. Okay, good. So this asshole didn't even attack my flyer. Bam! Female says, well, Kublai, I think, expanded it significantly too, but after he died, it split. Though I've been getting the impression while it was no longer the Mongolian Empire, the Khanate powers lasted in much of the world of centuries. Um, Kublai, being the grandson, uh, Kublai had the it was the fuck. He named it after like some sort of Chinese empire, but that's when it had already split. There was the Ilkhanate, there was the Chagatai Khanate, there was the Golden Horde, I think, and there was Kublai Khan. There was like four. It had split into four. Kublai's empire was like China, parts of Mongolia, and I think like the Indonesia areas, right? So that's different. That's like Marco Polo and shit, right? Yeah, yeah, one of the many grandsons, Kublai. Funny enough, my middle name is Kublai, actually, being Turkish, right? My name is Kublai Khan. I am the most powerful man in the world. My grandfather was the most successful man to ever lived. Yeah, if I were to call Genghis Khan something, I'd say he's the most successful man to ever lived, according to nature. He has the most ancestors ever out of any dude who has ever lived. Oh man, this is gonna be great. Okay, we're gonna fuck him up. I wonder how much damage this does. Not very strong. Infinite Metal says, right, but for a long time he was still the highest Khan, though after he takes over the southern China, I think the power struggles led him to start giving up a lot of the power outside the China. Kublai Khan, his portion of the empire was definitely the strongest, but I think he also ended up swallowing one of the other factions. So afterwards, there was like three, and Kublai Khan pretty much conquered the other one. But I believe on paper they were all Khans, right? They all crowned themselves Khans. But it's whoever would control. What's that place called? Karakum or something like that, the old capital of the Mongol Empire. So whoever held that could hold cruel ties, basically be crowned the ultimate Khan of the empire, even though he didn't have the other parts, right? Like the Golden Horde was like Russia, and what's the other one that was like Persia and the Middle East, another portion. But yeah, Mongol history is cool, man. It's so fucking cool. They all fought on horseback and shit. Female says India was also mostly under one Khanate for a long time, including when India was a mega power. I think. I don't think. I think that's later. I think India is Timur. Timur just like fucking goes to India and like ransacks it, right? You got the Mughal Empire, right? Mogul, and that's the same Mughal with like the British Empire and everything, right? It's those dudes. He licks his blades. He loves it so much. So the archer is dead. Oh, this motherfucker can go right through, huh? Or if I could just block him off. Infinite Mo says, yeah, I need to look more into it. As I said, I have some vague idea that it was final breakup of the Khanate in India that allowed for a power struggle, power vacuum that eventually results in British taking over with a lot of complication in between. Yeah, the British in India is super interesting because it's what happens when capitalism can do whatever it wants. So it's basically the West India Company or East India Company is like an office in Britain, and they go to India and they fucking start. I gotta careful here with this guy. So they go to India and they start the spice trading, right? Okay, it's all good. They start making a lot of money. People in Europe love their spices, and with that money, capitalism left unchecked, they hire a huge fucking army and start pretty much conquering parts of India with the Mughal Empire. The Mughal Empire pretty much gives the okay. I don't know much about this either, and pretty much with the Mughal Empire, it's like they pretty much gangbang all of India with the East India Company, and the East India Company gets so fucking rich at like later on points that the British government, the parliament is like, yo, this is ridiculous, like what the fuck are you guys doing in India, right? So we're gonna take this over. So the British government takes over the East India Company, which started out as a private company. So when people want to bash capitalism, they never talk about shit like that. They talk about just like fucking trivial and straw manning bullshit, right? But capitalism has to be kept in check, or else we got fucking bullshit like that where a company can hire tons of army dudes, have a giant ass army, and then conquer lands, right? Which is crazy when you think about it. Yeah, I got that from I think it's a book called Species. It's like a short history of the world, but it talks about how we create things that don't really exist. Like money doesn't really exist, because an animal goes to money and is like, what the fuck is this? Money's like nothing, right, to an animal, but it does exist to people, right? But yeah, it's a pretty interesting book, Species. Found it in audiobook form. Backstab! I'm gonna miss her ass cheeks. let's move you here. Action, magic, plus. Healing plus AoE. Look at that healing. Look at that. Wonder how much experience that is. Yeah, she can't reach. Let's see this. This is a long ass battle, actually. It's probably long ass because I'm playing it. Grog the sword. Really? I want a Grog to get the kill. Yeah, these tanks are really fucking powerful. Infinimal says, yeah, one of my favorite recent philosophers traced through and made some good points about how a lot of the rise of different major movements start with someone pointing out what was wrong with the dominant system, and often being right about the flaws, and then people don't think critically about alternative they propose. Sorry, wasn't intending to go down the deep thought trail while you're trying to win some battles. It's all good, bro. But yeah, how can guys like us resist? Yeah, philosophy is pretty interesting. I haven't delved too much into it. I read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. That's pretty much it. And like, of course, the basics, Greek philosophy. There's one thing I don't understand. How can these fortresses ruin? How can these fortress ruins also be Thoreau's dark arc? I don't completely understand either, but the idea of an arc may be the result of a bad translation from the ancient language of Duron. If there really was a great calamity, as is written, then the people would have been more likely to go inside a fortress rather than a ship. By the way, where did Kira go? Clint isn't around either. That creep? I saw her first. I hope you called me here for a good reason. A warning. You fight too recklessly. I think I've proven my prowess in battle. Though I admit that you're a first-class warrior. You fight as if you have nothing to lose. There's a sadness to you. It's almost as if you don't care whether you live or die. Well, that's all I wanted to say. Just trying to vibe with her. Wait! I guess I should thank you for saving me today. You see that? He just went in there smooth and just went out. Keeps her wanting more. Did you two have some kind of fight? Look at this guy! Oh shit! I looked everywhere for you. Oh my god, he's acting like a beta. He's a self-righteous jerk. Before you say that, listen to his story. He saw his lover slain right in front of his own eyes. By the gods! It's been almost 3 years now. Scum who did it had a grudge against Clint, and Clint knew it. Bastard shot her, galloped away, all in front of Clint. Say, Clint dodged the bullet, right? That was so fucking bad. He still blames himself for not preventing it. It eats him up inside. Pinamel says, "Alright, dude, for some reason, that sequence made me think about the evidence that's come up the last few decades for the historical King Arthur." King Arthur. I watched Sword in the Stone not too long ago. The Disney movie. Pretty good animation. That's why he tends to come off a little bit strong. Because he cares so much. I had no idea. She kinda has like a Persian look to her. Village of Yuzu. Yuzu yourself. Oh yeah, you know what I should do? Dojo. Joe. Says complete with what seems like a real basis for Camelot. A singular fortress is in the part of Wales where a force kept the Norse that took over England out for decades under a singular leader who seems to be named Arthur or something like that. Wasn't stone. Looks like it was a wooden fortress or an artificial hill. Okay, you said Viking. So we're talking late 700s. It can't be 700s. Because that was like Scotland and Ireland that got hit, right? So it would have to be 800s. Wales. And you said Wales because King Arthur's myth is in Wales, right? That's cool, man. Ever read a manga called Vinland Saga? So fucking good. It's so good. It says 400s right after the Romans pulled out of Britain. Yeah, but the Vikings didn't come until the Viking invasions were until like the 700s, right? They hit the Scottish Isles first, Lindisfarne, I think. Then they hit up Ireland. Then they start hitting like Middle England. No, not the Normans. Normans is like year 1000. 1000 something. The Vikings started invading in the 700s. So if it's in the Wales, it can't be the 400s. 400s is like you said. That's like the Romans when they're gone. Then the Saxons start coming, right? Or maybe you're talking about the Saxons, because the Saxons came from Saxonia, which is like northern. Where's this? Like Germany, around Germany. It's like a province there. They were sending like little parties, then they came in droves, right? Saxons. Okay. Because when you say Norse, that's like the Norse invasions, right? That started happening from like the 700s up to like the year 1000, pretty much, until fuck, what's that battle? That pretty much ended it. It was right when the Normans, basically the Vikings and the English fought. English beat the Vikings. Then fucking William the Conqueror's like, yo, it's my time, and then he goes and fucks up England right there, right? Infinite says, right. I somewhat loosely lump them together as Northmen. Yeah, sort of. I mean, I guess you could call Saxons like Vikings. They sort of were, right? Okay. So it's in the 400s, but anyways, let's get back to the topic. So King Arthur is in the 400s. So it would be before castles. Because nobody built fucking castles at that time. Castles is like pretty much early Middle Ages, right? So we're talking about the Dark Ages right now, which is like the an early part of the early Middle Ages. Okay, we're not making another Hawk Knight. Now, if the Hawk Knight's at 2 range, I would have went all Hawk Knight. Bowman. Bowman. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a night. I'm fucking tired. Infinite Metal says because after the Romans pulled out, there's just so little record. Yeah, we think of like the Romans leaving Britain as like boom, it happened, but Tides of History went over that, and it's another podcast, history podcast, and what he went over was that it was kind of like gradual. One day it's like, hey, you know that olive oil you used to get in Wales, well, you can't get it anymore because the guys who sold it to you left. And the next day is these roads here are not being maintained, so you're not using the roads anymore, so you're being a lot more communal. The aqueducts one day just stop bringing in water, so then you got to build a well. So it's like a lot gradual with the decline of the Roman Empire, right? Really fucking cool podcast. Tides of History, highly recommend it. I think he does Tides of History, follow the Roman Empire, which is the West, right? Save again just in case. Oh, I'm so fucking tired. I'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific. I'll probably be playing this again. This game is good. And guys, if you want to stick around, we will raid. Infinite Metal, it was fun chatting, man. I love fucking history. Can talk about it forever. Again, how often do we think about the Roman Empire? Every fucking day we think about the Roman Empire. Yeah, Dave, have a great night. I chatting with you too. Catch you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific. Let's see who's on. Yeah, it was definitely fun. And let's see. Open a new channel. You're not streaming Infinite Metal? I was gonna say I'll raid you. Why isn't this fucking mouse working? It just died. I dropped it one day and it's, you know, like gimped right now. If anyone else says, "How could I stream and keep up this conversation?" Practice. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Griff's playing retro games. What is Griff playing? Let's rate Griff. It's pretty cool. He's playing Final Fantastical Tales 9th edition. I got no clue what that is. You guys catch me same time, same planet, same country, same time zone, 6 p.m. Pacific next time. Oh, this is FF9. Okay. Cool, roll transferred over, and you guys have a great night and peace out.